right, here we go. Well, I guess we're. My name's Eric Bartl with Ohio Kayak Instruction. Tonight, I'm going to do a live stream a little bit different. So we normally do a Wednesday night podcast starting at 8 p.m. But tonight, I wanted to start a little bit earlier because I wanted to bring on a guest, David Hughes from Pucon Kayak Retreat, to talk about the upcoming trip we have scheduled for February 2027. So anybody that's interested in paddling in Chile or has thought about doing an international trip, this is a great podcast to listen to or live stream to listen into because we're going to talk about all things paddling in South America. And bear with me because it always takes me a minute or two to figure out exactly how to bring someone on the live stream. I don't know why it's so complicated, but it's always something that takes like 2 to 3 minutes. So I plan this time for while we're getting David on. I'm going to talk about some upcoming announcements and things like that. But I do want to share a little bit of history. So, David um, isn't just the owner of Pucon Kayak Retreat. What a lot of people don't know is David used to run New River Academy. So, the paddling high school that I attended, David was the administrator slash principal of. So, my relationship with David goes back very, very far. And so I've always looked up to him as a mentor. And so when he ended the school and started Pucon Kayak Retreat, I was like, sweet, I can continue to see him and continue to build a relationship. So we're gonna try to do at least an annual trip, like once a year, down to Pucon. A group of Cincinnati and Ohio paddlers will go down and see him. And so let me check. It's always difficult to bring someone on the live stream. I sent David, if you're watching the live stream, I just sent the invite. So give it. It always takes a minute or two. While we wait for that, I'm going to go ahead and start on some upcoming announcements. So if anyone is interested in some courses or classes, or what are we teaching here in Ohio, or is there something coming up that you should know about, I'm just going to go over those announcements while we work to bring David on. So the next thing we're going to run is a swiftwater rescue training in April. It's going to be a 2-day training over April 18th and April 19th. So if you're interested in learning, I've been asked, I used to run one of these once a year, but because life gets busy and I have children, I haven't been running a swiftwater rescue class recently. So moving forward, um, that will be offered. So it should be a good time. If you're texting, oh, this happens to me every time with Facebook. I don't know why. I can't read the comments, but when the guest comes on, the guest is always able to read the comments. So someone please leave a comment so I know if the comments are working or not. And I'm going to switch over to this. No, I don't want that. And then I'm going to do this. I got to get fancy with my tech abilities. Okay. Um, Sorry, guys, but out of everyone, I'm like the worst when it comes to technology. It's like I'm really an 80-year-old man stuck in a 33-year-old body. So, Swiftwater Rescue class is coming up. We have a playboating clinic that was scheduled for May 2nd, but we're going to move that because May 2nd, yes, I see the comments coming in now. May 2nd, leave a brown claw in the comment section if you know how to do that emoji, because that comes through. But that's the only comments I'm seeing is people brown clawing in the comment section. Um, we had a playboating clinic scheduled. Okay, let me try, David. Let me try this. We had a playboating clinic scheduled. Um, okay, you can request to join. Try that, David. See if you can request to join the video chat. Um, But we're moving. So May 2nd, I just got told that there is going to be a Jackson Kayak. I just got told today, actually, that there is going to be a fun tour at Whitewater Warehouse on May 2nd. So we're going to meet at Whitewater Warehouse at noon, about 12 o'clock. And we're going to do a nice long paddle through downtown Dayton, and we'll do some surfing in the waves, and then in the evening we will do pizza and drinks and stuff, free pizza and drinks at Whitewater Warehouse. So if you're interested, it's a completely free event. That's May 2nd, and come out. It's going to be a super good time. It's always a blast when you can come out and meet more people in the community, and everyone comes together. So that'll be May 2nd at noon. I'll start blasting that way more. It was a conflict. We were going to do a playboating clinic that date. I'm either going to scrap the playboating clinic or I'm going to move it to another date. I haven't decided yet, but that is coming up. Wait, let me try it. Approve. Send request. Okay, don't do anything, David. It says it's adding you. David's coming from South America, and so like the lag between videos in South America and North America. Also, David Hughes, everybody, round of applause. Leave a clapping emoji in the comment
Hey
section.
guys.
The big big round of applause. So I always get fired up when it actually works. It always takes somewhere between 2 to 4 minutes before I can actually get someone on the live stream. So I didn't even get. Okay, this is the first time this has ever happened, David. Let me finish the upcoming events, and then we'll dive into your stuff. Normally, I've like finished all my stuff, and I'm like, how am I going to get the live stream to work? So. Okay, so fun tour May 2nd. Monday nights on the Little Miami start May 4th. So if you're interested in taking the Monday night class, sign up for it. There's only like 5 spots left. So if you want to take that course, sign up immediately because it's not going to be offered much. Like I'm not going to have a room for more people much longer. We are offering for the first time a Tuesday night on the Elkhorn down in Kentucky. So, and Jeremy is going to teach that course. So, if you're interested and you live down in Kentucky, anyone watching in Kentucky and you want like an intro to whitewater course, reach out to us. We're going to run it this year. And as always, the freestyle competition is going to be May 30th in Dayton, Ohio. So keep those on your calendar and always visit Ohio Kayak Instruction when you want to know upcoming events. We keep that updated constantly. So keep an eye out on that. So without further ado, I'm going to transition here a little bit. So I wanted to have fun with it. So instead of being Eric Bartl, operator of Ohio Kayak Construction, I am going to pretend I'm going to transform. And I'm going to pretend I'm a complete beginner. I've never been to South America. I've never paddled in Chile. And I'm interested in coming down to the Pucon kayak retreat. So I'm going to try to be creative and ask questions the way somebody that's considering coming would ask questions. So and if I don't ask the question, if I don't we don't cover something, leave a question in the comment. So if you're interested in coming but you have some questions that we didn't answer, leave it in the comments or reach out to us after the video. So all right, I'm going to start the first one, David. Let's say I'm a brand new paddler. I don't even have my role. Is it even worth coming to Pucon like as a brand new paddler? I don't have a solid consistent role, and I'm like, I'm on the fence. I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready to paddle in South America. How would you answer that?
Yeah. So first, thanks for having me on. I got my
Yes.
Ohio Kayak Instruction hat that the Ohio Kayak Instruction crew made. Thank you, Jeremy. It's still got the sticker on it. They brought these hats down this year for their Chile kayaking trip, so I'm excited about that. So that's a big question, and I think that is the biggest misconception of all kayakers they make about kayaking in Chile. And what it is I'm not good enough to kayak in Chile. And that's kind of like saying I'm not good enough to go work out in the gym and get stronger. And what and but it also makes a lot of sense because all the videos that come out of Chile, everybody in kayaking knows that Chile is known for its waterfalls in class 5. And so all the videos that you see the pros making are all of them running these big giant waterfalls. And you don't see any videos popping out of beginners and intermediates running their, swimming or learning to roll in the lake. But it turns out Pucon, Chile has arguably the world's best beginner and intermediate rivers. Here's why. So as you come off the Andes slopes to the east, that is making its way usually within a couple of hours to the Pacific Ocean. And so we're along that Andes slope, you have a string of volcanoes, and in between those volcanoes, all the drainages are multiplied, meaning the number of class 5 and 4 and waterfalls are just tremendous. But where I'm based on the Trancura River, we're only about 1,200 feet elevation, and so by now the slope, all those have tributaried into the Trancura, and we're getting these nice rapids ranging from advanced in the intermediate, and as you get closer and closer to the Pacific, they get more and more flat, more and more proper for beginner instruction. So our property is literally to put in for a class 3 section is a takeout up above. There's a class 4-5 section. And then just a few years ago, some of our NOC instructors discovered a section above our property about 1.5 kilometers long that's great for beginners. And then if you go out in any direction, you have all kinds of beginner, intermediate, and advanced runs. So if you're a beginner, and it turns out that beginner kayakers, they like to travel too.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens with us, it was years, Eric, before we ever started running beginner trips down here. We started opposite of all kayak schools. We started with all the advanced stuff because we came down here, and well, you were one of my students. So for those of you that don't know it, Eric was in my high school years ago, and he was charging all the class 5 rapids and running waterfalls and all that stuff. And that's what we just loved all that. And so, but it was years before I discovered that how good the beginner and intermediate development was. And that was really after, like you, when I got into instruction, and that we needed safe and proper features that are still fun and challenging. So for you beginners, yeah, absolutely come down. We have half a dozen sections that we work on, developing you in a fun, safe area where you can practice your rolls, combat rolls. We work on the lake, in a warm water lake, and ferries and catching eddies and all those features.
I don't think people really understand just how many like intermediate and beginner like rivers are so close to you. And I was thinking about it the other day, David. I was like, you almost need a map like to really like understand. I don't understand how Pucon has so many. There are substantial amount of like good intermediate and beginner rivers within like, I don't know, less than an hour drive of where you're located. So it's pretty awesome. I was playing around with Google Maps, seeing if I could like make, because the next question I'm going to ask you, which people are going to want to know, like what do they watch videos? What rivers should they look up to watch videos of? Like if they're thinking about coming down, like what videos, what are the rivers names so
Uh-huh.
that they know to look them up?
Okay, so great question. So we're based right on the Trancura River, Trancura. And if we go from above our property, that would be called the Upper Trancura, and that's the most advanced section. And you literally see the world's best kayakers putting in and taking off on our property, and we give access to the kayak community here. And so if you run that section, the beginner section that's just above us, that's 1.5 kilometers, we do that a lot of times as our assessment day. There's a beach up there for rolling, and then you paddle down to our property. Or if you're advanced and you want to run class 4 plus, you paddle above that section down to our property. You take out right at our property, and we can have a hot tub waiting for you right on the river. So then the next section, so that's taking out at our property. Then to put in at our property is the lower Trancura. And this gets to be a better development section for your core intermediates. And it's pretty challenging because there's some good sized rapids in there. There's a lot of moving water. You intermediates get to work on their first boost. There's boosts everywhere, so they're going to hit 20 boosts in this section. And if you don't know what a boost is, that's where you're going to charge a rock and go off one side or the other, and you're going to catch air like a bike ramping or a skier ramping off a mogul. And so you get, getting 20 of those in one section, you really get the feel, the timing, and the techniques that go with that. I'm seeing some super cool people from my past. Christy Knox, I saw her pop up. This is a girl
Oh
I haven't
yeah.
seen in 30 years. I went to church with and elementary school with as a child. And then
Well,
John from Canada. So anyway,
yeah.
welcome to the group, guys.
Oh,
Then
wait, David, we got to give a shout out. I'm wearing a Hellbender hoodie from
mhm,
Mountains to Sea Apparel, and if anyone is looking for an American-made hoodie, Mountains to Sea Apparel, made in North Carolina. Michael Ferraro, Jamie Best, some of the best people in the world are making these hoodies in their garage. Go support them. Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
uh,
But yes, could next. What other rivers besides the Trancura, David?
that
What
is a
is like
pretty book.
really close?
Um, yeah. So putting in our property, we did the lower Trancura. Then if you put in at that takeout, you have what's called the Trancura Delta. Think of your eighth grade earth science class where you had the delta where the lake goes in, the river goes into the lake. So you can literally paddle, and that's really your beginner course section. And this year when Ohio Kayak Instruction came down, they had 4 beginners. And they would paddle down that beginner section that's just really easy flowing. You got some intermediate, you got some ferry moves, some eddies to catch, and then the river fans out. There's a lot of birds through that section, and it goes right into the lake. And there's a volcano, a giant volcano staring as your backdrop. And so normally we'll paddle down to there and do our roll session at the end of the section, which is the opposite. Typically, you roll at the beginning, but that's because you're paddling into a lake. And just so you know, we're in what's called the Lakes and Rivers District of Chile. It is the most popular vacation destination in all of Chile. A lot of that is more popular than Patagonia. It's because of the easy access with the beauty of all the lakes. So we're in between. We're always driving around a volcano or a lake or a river here, and and that's why, to answer your question, why there's so many beautiful beginner and intermediate rivers. As I said, you have the Andes slope, and then you have those volcanoes multiplying the drainages as they make their way to the Pacific.
Yeah, yeah.
The tributary coming in below our property is called the Liacura. And we would start kayakers on the middle Liacura down to the wave. You might remember the wave.
Hmm.
It's freestyle for the pro kayakers where they can practice surfing and doing tricks and that sort of thing. Hey, David. Um, and then uh, you have a series of class 3 rapids to get really exciting for beginners. And for example, we had some beginners this week, and they're like, "We want more." We had an 18-year-old from Tennessee. And he's like, "I want more. I want more." And they took him down that, and he swam, and he's like,
Yeah,
okay,
it's funny about Chile. It's like, oh, you want more? Well, there's more. There's plenty
yeah."
more. You can keep going up in skill level as far as you want until
So
you
the
find,
old
yeah, you'll find where the peak is.
is
Um,
sometimes boring until you get that first swim.
yep, yep.
Um,
So we
so
got,
that's the beginner, and there's a couple more, but really that's all we need. It turns out those are the best development sections. Sometimes I don't think the beginners are as much as the intermediates and advanced wanting to do more sections. They're just happy doing their development. A lot of times we'll do a lake session or a roll session plus a river section.
so So if you're watching and you're like a beginner or intermediate, you're going to be watch videos on the Trancura, the Liacura, and also Nicole. What's your favorite one? I always blank on it. It's a little bit from the hostel, Big Water.
Oh, the San Pedro.
San Pedro. Watch videos on those three rivers. If you're like worried that it's going to be too much for you, you watch some videos on it and see what you think. And if you're more of an experienced paddler, like let's say you're in the advanced group, what rivers would they be paddle? What should they watch videos of to like prepare before they
Okay.
came down?
Yeah. So this year, I'll give a shout out to some of the advanced kayakers, Jeremy Schill and Kyle Barkamer and Michael Hood. I hope Michael's around.
He
That
was rappelling into a volcano tonight. That's why he couldn't join the live stream. So
sounds about right. And Nicole's posting a few couple of rivers there. So those guys, they kind of start out on the lower Trancura, then the upper Trancura, the cool thing, and then the Fui, the spelled Fuy, is always a favorite, and of course the upper Palgine waterfalls. So that is a water of, and everything is coming off of basalt bedrock, which is a volcanic basalt. So the Palgine Canyon, you're down in a canyon, and it has about 6 waterfalls, and that's a very special experience. The first thing you do is you hike down into this basalt canyon, and then to get into the river canyon, there's a land bridge that is a core basalt core that you can walk over the river. Super rare anywhere in the world. And there's actually 2 within like 5 kilometers of each other, basalt cores that you can walk over
it,
the river.
it
Uh,
reminds me of something like out of Lord of the Rings. Like when you see
mhm,
it, you like really don't think this is like a real thing, like a land bridge going over the river. It's crazy.
right.
Oh,
So on the Upper Palgine, to get into the river, you actually seal launch in. For those of you that don't know what seal launch is, that is you put in on the bank and you slide off the bank into the river. But this one, you're sliding about 12 feet high. And it turns out that's a really good spot to work on your stomp. If those of you that are working on advanced moves, the stomp is when you have your kayak and it's at a plane. I'll use
hey
this for
Tristan.
and dump your bow down. And then what's I think the Upper Palgine has the world's best feature for learning how to boof. There's a 4 foot high boof that's a really aggressive, steep boof that flips people, and then the water flows into a 10 foot high waterfall, and that's an easier waterfall. It's an easier feature than the 4 foot high one. And then after you do that, we built a ladder. And so, Eric, you haven't been here since we built the ladder. But
No,
now everybody's just walking back up that ladder and lapping this double waterfall, and you get immediate video feedback. And you get the
that's
practice. You can do
awesome.
freestyle, or you can learn your first boof, or you can just run the waterfalls over and over and gain confidence and really improve your skills. Uh, and then you hit the biggest waterfall. It turns out on the Palgine, the bigger the waterfall, the easier. So the biggest waterfalls are 20 footer, but it's actually easier and plops into a pool. So it's also very safe. So if you've done the Tellico River in Tennessee, it's a very safe waterfall run. Um, then um, the San Pedro, which Nicole mentioned, that is a super cool day for the Ohio Kayak Instruction group, because that's our day where we take all 3 groups, the beginners and the intermediates and the advanced, all on the same run. It is a big volume run. So it's big, it's clear, it's blue. You know, you go upside down with your GoPro, and it's just super clear, like something out of the Caribbean. And so it's great for advanced kayakers because there's all these big wave lines and surfing. So you take the half slice that day and you surf. And then the beginners, they're the most challenged. So we either put them in a raft or an inflatable kayak. And really the intermediates that are, kind of doing their first big rapids, that's an exciting day because it is big water. It feels like the Foodla-Foo. But it is one where you can go upside down. It's deep and you can roll or swim. And the whole group gets to go out on the same river that day. It's really the only day that we have where everybody does the same section.
Yeah.
Just because it's so fun for the advanced kayakers, and we can put the beginners in an inflatable, and we can make it work.
Yeah, it's a good one. I remember loving the San Pedro. There's like good, beautiful surf waves, and it's just good fun. Good, like high volume fun. Something we don't get a ton of on the East Coast. Like it's hard to like compare it to anything on the East Coast because there's really not. I don't know. What would you compare it to, David? I'm there. It's different.
Um, the Ottawa.
Yeah, I know. That's what so everyone's been asking me, David, like, oh, what should I prep? What river should I paddle here in the States? If I'm planning on coming, what river should I paddle here in the States? And I keep like, oh, I want to go to the Fuda Lafu. What river should I paddle here in the States? I'm like, Ottawa. You should
Well,
paddle the Ottawa.
that's
Yeah.
the fun part. And so, for those of you that don't know, Eric went to my high school, and we got to travel the world for 2 or 3 years there together. And um, the what what's happening there with your Ohio scene is just all preparation to go out and explore other rivers. So it's super cool that you have something like Ohio Kayak Instruction, where you guys can do beginner rolls and you can go out and run rivers there in the Cincinnati, Dayton area. And then you can drive over to West Virginia and hit, whether it's the new, or you can go to more beginner type rivers, like, or you can go to the Ottawa. That's just the fun part. You're
Yep.
just starting. So getting your foundations with Ohio Kayak Instruction, that means you get to go anywhere. And that's what is cool about Chile is, if you're a beginner, you can come down and paddle beginner rivers here and leave a much better kayaker with much more confidence. You don't have to be an advanced kayaker to enjoy this place. Uh, so just whatever river you go and practice on, if you're practicing on the Nantahala or the OKI or the Upper New, which is probably the Upper New is going to be one of the closest river sections to you guys. It's a good beginner stretch. Uh, what is it? 5 hours from you guys? Four and
Yeah,
a half?
four and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize this. We are 4.5 to 5 to the Yacht. We are 4.5 to 5 to West Virginia and the new and Golly. And then we are 6 down to the NOC, Nantahala, like all those southeast North Carolina runs. So like, and then if we want to go up to Ottawa, it's 10.5 up to Ottawa. So like there, like for a weekend it makes for like the variety. I know a lot of people that are like yacht boaters that never go to North Carolina. I know a lot of like southeast boaters that never go like and paddle in different places because they're like, well, why would I leave? It's so good here. And I get it, like but it is one of the unique things about being located in Ohio. Like you can go explore all these amazing rivers, and that's the whole goal. It's like, I'll give you the tools, but it's
Mhm.
your job to take the next step and go explore. And we organize all sorts of free trips too. So it's not always like if you want to go to the Nantahala, like there's probably a crew from Cincinnati going, there's probably a crew from Ohio heading down there. So,
Right.
okay.
Nicole, question. Can I answer
Yeah.
that one?
Yeah. Hit her.
So, yeah. Nicole asks if it's safe in Chile and how's the healthcare. So, when I was choosing where to base uh, in South America, I was choosing between Costa Rica, Ecuador, and Chile. And Chile is a longer flight, and the flight costs more. It's longer, and uh, but I still chose it because I thought it was a safer destination. There's less theft here, in my opinion, and the economy is stable here. Uh, and overall, I enjoyed the rivers. I thought there were more intermediate rivers that were more convenient, intermediate and beginner rivers. The healthcare, so we have had some incidents, whether it's stitches or a dislocated shoulder. I had a bad paragliding accident a few years ago, and I have a really bad limp now. So if you go to the hospital, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. People are always like, "Oh, I went to the hospital." I was like, "I didn't pay anything." And so there is a socialized healthcare system here.
Yeah, it's only
Uh,
in America where we have to pay. You go to the doctor's office, and if you don't have health care, $100,000 bill will show up at your door. If you needed major surgery. Yeah,
yeah, so yeah, so there's, and we're also in Pucon. We have a hospital, and we're near an airport. So when you're choosing a destination as a business owner, you are looking at the convenience of infrastructure like airport proximity and hospitals and school systems and that sort of thing. So yeah, thanks for asking that, Nicole. It is a safe country, and we've worked out all the logistics. And for 20 years, we've been I bought the property in 2007, so we've seen
yeah,
pretty much at this point.
yeah. Let me ask you a question. So let's say I'm like sold, and I'm definitely coming.
Mhm.
What do I bring? So do I try flying with a boat? Do I bring just like my gear? Can I rent gear? Like, should I bring my paddle? Is it a good idea? Like, what would you tell someone, who is like definitely wants to come? What gear should they bring? Should they try to fly with a boat? What are you thinking?
Yeah, so when you purchase a trip with us, when you go through the registration, really, if you go through the registration, it'll teach you the answers to all these questions. And we have a great FAQs page. Um, so your kayak is included in your trip cost. Your meals are included. Your lodging is included. I always get surprised. I have all these people ask me, "Do I get sheets? Do I bring a sleeping bag?" And it's like, yeah. So we have really nice lodging here. But the lodging is it's kind of like when you buy a trip with us, it's kind of like buying an airline ticket. You can buy your VIP first class ticket or all the way down to coach and the economical tickets. So we have VIP river suites that are right on the river. They're these glamping domes with ensuite bathrooms and a bed and French doors looking right at the river. And we actually recommend, we don't have mosquitoes here, so we recommend people leave their French doors open. People are amazed by those. And then we have the hosteria beds. One of the things I'm really proud of is that we have in our premium lodgings, the hosteria cabins and the river suites, we have therapeutic mattresses, which I always tell everybody you can thank my back for that. Because I had spinal surgery, and once I got a therapeutic mattress, I bought therapeutic mattresses for everybody. Uh, so then the cabins they're centrally located. They also have the nice mattresses and the beds and ensuite bathrooms. Uh, then if you're on a budget, we have dormitories and camping. The only folks that need to bring anything are the people that choose camping. Um, so the beds are great. It's riverside. If we come to Pucon, should we bring our kayak? All right. So I just answered that. You just missed it, but your kayak is included. We have over 50 kayaks, and when you register, you you select your kayak that you want to kayak for the week. Uh, some people, the paddle does not come with your trip. You can rent a paddle for $12 a day, which is way cheaper than if you fly with it. And we did have a guest a couple weeks ago, flew down with his paddle and flew back to the States, and Delta broke his paddle, and he's went through all kinds of hassles. And I sent him a message. I said, next time you come, just remind me, and I'll comp you a paddle.
Yeah.
Um,
I when
so
yeah, when
you
I
might
flew to
not,
when I flew to Germany, $185 just to fly my paddle to Germany. And I was like, that is insane. But I will say some people are sentimentally attached to their paddle, and they like believe that their confidence comes from their paddle. And if that's you, you might want to consider a breakdown, or you might want to consider like I'm a huge fan of the ArcaWorks, the two-piece ArcaWorks that are breakdown paddles into a two-piece breakdown. That way it's easier to travel with. And so just
yeah.
something to think about.
So Judy Thompson just wrote, "Can you get a bent shaft?" So Julie, the we I carry Warners. I just found Warner had produce the best paddles over there. We do have a number of bent shafts. We carry some bent, and I'm really proud. I think we carry as good of paddles as anyone for our advanced kayakers. We don't hand out our carbon fibers to the beginners. They don't know the difference. Uh, so we have some bent shaft Stakines, powerhouses, double diamonds, which are my favorite. We also have just fiberglass bent shafts, and then we have straight shafts. And I typically choose at 5, 15, and 30 degrees in varying lengths. So that's just kind of, as a kayak school owner, you just kind of go what will work best for everybody. So 5, 15, and 30-degree offsets, bent shaft and straight shaft, all Werners.
Yeah.
Missed that message just now. I was talking. Someone said something about a two-piece paddle, and it went off my screen. I missed it.
Oh, they said you still have to check the two-piece breakdown. So two-piece might be expensive to check. That's true. Yeah, but if
Here, so here's something that's really Eric knows this from the high school, but if you guys are all out of Ohio and you're able to group together, what we used to do as a high school, so basically they'll charge $150 for a big giant bag. So what we did is we put all of our paddles together. So let's say we had 15 paddles total, and we bundle them together. So then they're all super strong and solid together. And then we would wrap them with just a tarp, and then we would package tape that, just so much package tape on it. And so there were 15 paddles in there. Everybody was in there paid $10, and you had the power of the group for the discount. And so it was a $150 package. So if you guys are coming down, you
we'll
can bring
probably
your
do
big.
that.
And so one person carries one extra bag, and everybody covers the cost of that.
Yeah.
So that's a great little deal. And every few years, when I start getting low on paddles, I'll order like 10 paddles from Werner, and I'll bring them all down in one bundle.
Yeah. Smart. If so, this is a question for me, Dave. Uh, I'll probably want to fly a boat down.
Mm.
And let's say someone did want to fly a boat down. Would you have any interest in like purchasing a boat at a great price and a good discount? If somebody
Yeah,
did fly down with a quality boat?
yeah, that's a great question, and thanks for asking. We certainly are happy to barter some trip credits for the currying of a boat down. And so what we're looking for is popular model, good condition. Um, so, whatever, Narvanas for Jackson, or Indras, or, Rippers, or whatever, from whatever
Yeah.
company, that are
Okay.
in demand boats. And we're happy if you carry it down. I will trade market value. So if you're carrying, whatever Jackson's latest boat is, um, then we will barter for that.
Awesome. Sweet.
That helps us a lot, actually. It's
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's good to know because I'll probably come down with like an Antix 3 or something, or maybe a Flow or something like that when I fly down. And so, yeah, it's just Narvana is a great boat too. I might come down with the Narvana. I don't know. I really like the Flow, and the Narvana took very good care of me when I needed it to. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'll bring down, but I probably will fly with a boat because I like playing around. I like playing the game of, is this airline going to take it or not? Like, I don't know. I've made it a game. It stresses some people out, but I have a lot of fun with it.
I think there's a little mini psychology there with how you navigate getting through there.
Oh,
I think Nicole, I would buy, if I come across a small scorch, I would buy a small scorch. I haven't come across one down here yet.
oh yeah, Nicole does have one. Nicole, there we go. We'll fly down with the Scorch. Okay, so oh, and for everyone that is watching that's considering booking a trip, I will say that the best lodgings are probably going to get picked up first. So if you really want, like, you specifically want a certain type of lodging, you should go ahead and probably pull the trigger on like placing a deposit on the trip because like as this gets we're still 12 months out, but as we get closer, like this trip is going to be fully booked. And so I encourage you to like go ahead and get the lodgings you want now, because they might not be there in a few months. So just I'm going to throw that one in, and then we'll move on to the next question. Okay, back to Eric Bartl is a complete beginner, and I don't even have a kayak roll, and I'm going to ask you more questions. So you kind of covered the next one, which was lodging options. Let's move on to like boat selections. So, for like the intermediates and beginners, do you have more slicey boats? Because here in Ohio, like that's what a lot of us are in is like Antixes and Rippers and like half slices because we like to play around on eddy lines and things like that when there's no flow in the summer in late summer. Uh-oh, David, you're muted. Let me see if I can unmute. No, I can't. You got to do it. Hit the unmute button.
Is that better to get
That's
it?
better. Yep, now I
All
can
right.
hear you.
All right. So, yes, we have a few half slices off the top of my head. Antics, Puffy Steez, Ripper, Billy Goat.
Those are the
Uh,
best.
I think I'm missing one. And usually, like for example, so our backyard Trancura runs that day on the day. All right, so this season when Ohio Kayak Instruction came down, there were 15. You had four beginners. You had a big giant, it's like a bell curve, a big giant intermediate group, and then I think we had three or four. I think it was three or four advanced kayakers. So the advanced kayakers are all probably going to take the half slices on the San Pedro day. The San Pedro is a big water run with on the fly waves and just fantastic for those guys to be in a half slice that day. So, and then the Leakura has some play boating on it too. So, yeah, we have enough to cover your group. And
Sweet.
maybe the Fuda, those folks that are
Wh-
doing the Fuda, might want some of those half slices too.
Yeah. This is gonna be a big group coming down, so we might have to bring some extra boats and some extra equipment because I have a feeling your entire place is gonna be booked that week. Just knowing with like how many people are showing interest and we're still 12 months out, I've got a
Mm.
feeling like you're not gonna have any lodging options. Like for we'll see how it goes. So,
Oh,
all right, let's move on to the next one. I'm a complete beginner. I don't have my kayak roll, and I also have some food allergies. Like let's say I had like a peanut allergy. Can you talk to us about like what an average day in terms of like the food accommodations are? Like what's that like?
yeah. So, one of the things I started saying years ago to our staff is, "Are we proud to show this product?" And for we were really nailing it in the kayak instruction and river and kayak quality and vehicle quality department. But the area that took me the longest to get there was the kitchen. And we really got there the past 2 years. And really, I can't take credit for it. It's my fiance, Beleda. And she's amazing. And so she went out and interviewed some great cooks, and we have a chef. So one of the things within your registration, there's going to be a question called dietary, and there's a whole list, everything we could think of. Seeing gluten without, gluten free, um, food allergies, nuts or lactose or whatever, and then we put that on they get a report and they do a food shop twice a week. They do one food shop before you arrive and one midweek. So it's kind of like a catering service, not a restaurant. And they will literally have labels on all the food, vegetarian, or it might even just say, Eric, sin gluten, without gluten. Like they'll literally put your name on a plate. Um, so they're really great about that. The way the meal services go, we have family style tables. I'm a huge believer. All of our tables are family style tables. We all eat together and we have activities. And there's a lot, it's all, everything on the property is designed to bring people together. So breakfast is just a buffet style breakfast, and it's fresh fruit, and we have it's eggs and ham, and then you have your if you're vegetarian, you have your granola and your chia seeds and fresh fruit, and there's an espresso machine if you're really into coffee and you love lattes or espressos. So we got there. One really cool thing is we're in salmon country, and the salmon make their way up the river. And there's a big photo you saw of Jeremy holding these big salmon Chinook. And so there's a local fisherman that came to me a couple of years ago offering to sell these fresh salmon he was catching. And so I was like, I will buy these every week from you. And so when he catches a salmon, he comes straight from the river to us. I buy it, and then they fillet it. Your last group got to watch them fillet it out on the table, out on the
That's
picnic,
awesome.
wash off the table and everything. And then we deep freeze it for 24 hours to kill everything. And then, so we do, that's our star ingredient of the week. So we do 3 dishes. We do a couple of ceviche appetizers during the week. We do a sashimi night appetizer. And then one night it's the entree is just a salmon fillet with a salad and mashed potatoes.
Oh,
Uh,
so you don't
so
even know, David. I'm on a fast right now, and so like like this, you're killing me. You're killing me. I'm so fired up to come down now.
it's like Eric, I'm the heaviest I've ever been. It's The food is so good here. They're serving desserts. It's dangerous.
uh, yeah, it's dangerous. Yep. That's awesome. Cool. So food, top notch. Excited about it. Lastly, so when we come down, we're a big group, and we're all different skill levels. So how do you handle like the logistics? Like, let's say there's a beginner, intermediate, and an advanced group, and they all need to go out on rivers all at once. What does that look like? Do you have enough guides? How does that look like from a logistics standpoint?
Great question. I think Pucon Kayak Retreat is handling that as well as any company in the world. So the first thing is we have the proper rivers and sections for each development group. The second thing is we commit to each skill group. So the beginners, I'm just going to use the numbers you had this year.
Sure.
You had 4 beginners. And so we specifically committed a transportation to the beginners and guides to the beginners. Okay. And they go and so we eat breakfast, and then they go into their classroom instructional, whether that's how to roll or boat outfitting, what are the boat components, all that. And then they go out and do their own specific day. Day 1 is probably going to the lake and spending an entire day at the lake, learning the boat, learning how to maneuver the boat, wet exit, how to turn the boat. All right, let's go. Now let's go to the advanced kayakers. Same thing. Advanced kayakers don't want to be out there on the lake. They want to go run waterfalls and boof and charge. And the advanced kayakers, they don't want to be rescuing everybody. They're paying for a trip, and they don't want to be going to Chile and rescuing beginners and intermediates. So they get their own specific group as well, their own vehicle. And so we have a fleet of Toyota Hiluxes and Dodge Durangos. Those are the vehicles we've chosen in trailers. So I think we had 3, if I recall correctly. It was Jeremy, Kyle, and Michael Hood. There might have been one more I'm forgetting. I hope not. But they went out with Lucas Varas. And by the way, Lucas Varas is the best kayaker in Chile. He wins the extreme races down here. And so what we've challenged him with is all right, take all of your training, and he was trained by Tino, by the way, when he was 16.
That he is
Uh,
the best. Yep.
so take all your training that you're doing to try to become the world's best extreme racer or run big waterfalls, and how are you going to articulate and teach that to your advanced kayakers on these features? So what are the moves you're doing? What are the strokes you're doing? How are you hitting this booth? How are you timing this? What's your mindset? So they go out on their own specific advanced sections as well. Now, and this is the way it works with, if you go with any club boat, this club boat group or large group, this is kind of the way the bell curve works. The big group was the intermediates.
Sure.
And so I think we had 4 beginners, 3 advanced. So that's 7. There were 8 intermediates. And so we had 3 instructors with them. It was Blue and Haley, and probably, I can't remember who our Chilean guide was with them. And same thing, they go out, and we try to do a classroom instructional every day. Our road trip days, we don't have the time. Like tomorrow, they're going to the San Pedro. We have a group of 6 going to the San Pedro tomorrow. They're not doing a classroom instructional. They literally show up on the front porch at 7:15, and we hand them 2 breakfast burritos each. We hand them 2 lunch burritos each, and empanadas for the return home, and thermoses of coffee and mugs. And we're like, get in
Awesome.
the van.
Go.
Like, we're on it. There is no like show up to breakfast and waste an hour. It is boats are packed. Show up at the deck. Here's your breakfast burritos. Here's your coffee. Get in the van. They eat on
That's
the
what
boat.
we want. That's what we want because when we're coming, we only have so many days to do it, and we want to cram as much in as possible. Especially
Right. And you
me, like
go with a company that doesn't have their act together, and you're like the thing I hate the worst is like uh we used to have these trips that would roll in at like 9 o'clock, 9:30 at night, and everybody was hangry.
yeah,
It's like we serve appetizers at 6:45 and dinner at 7:30. Get back early enough that people can take a shower, or they can get their appetizers and have a cocktail and have dinner. But don't be coming in at 10 o'clock at night exhausted and hangry and all these things. So we've learned to really be on top of our game here. And one of the biggest things we did was we cut out the morning breakfast, and we said, breakfast is to go, lunch is to go, get in the van. Uh,
smart.
our guests are our guests are not waiting on our guides. We are waiting on you.
Yeah. And well, and it makes sense because you're going to have a 15-20 minute drive. You might have a 30-minute, like you might as well eat on the way to cut, like you're sitting in the vehicle anyway. So you might as well do that. That makes sense. Uh, Mitchell had a good question. He won't be joining us this year because he's about to have a baby, but he might join us in 2028. So his question was, what was the most progress you've seen someone make, even ever have someone start who can't roll and then ends up being able to cobra flip by the end of the week?
Uh, so congratulations, Mitchell, and yeah, that is definitely a delusional thought. Um,
Almost
but
as delusional as thinking, Mitchell, that you're going to get to come with us
in
with
a few
that new
years,
baby on the way.
uh, so, but Mitchell, that's a great question. I think the biggest progression was really I can't escape the beginner trips where we've seen beginners that were well, we had an intermediate this week, a girl named Brianna that did an earlier trip in the season, and she came back for the women's trip, and then she signed up for a 3rd trip in the same season, and she hit her first combat roll on yesterday. So
Let's
that was a big
go.
deal. We have had some beginners, and I actually think these 2 brothers were from Ohio that had never kayaked before, and they hit a roll on the San Pedro. And it's a
Nice.
Oh, that's really cool. And so when you hit if you're a beginner and you hit your first combat roll versus swimming, and that combat roll is when you actually hit your roll in the whitewater versus swimming, that's a big step and accomplishment. And the really cool thing about kayaking is everybody knows that you're going through what they went through, and it kind of sucks. And everybody cheers for you and supports you and tries to keep you in the boat from swimming. And there's just this big celebration when you do things like hitting a combat roll. So I saw these guys on their week one run the San Pedro and hit a combat roll on the
That's
San Pedro.
awesome. That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah. And then on the advanced level, if we go to the other extreme, you have these guys that just come down and they just like run the Pucon and they just come back. That was the most amazing place I've ever been in that
Yeah.
basalt canyon. So,
Now, let me ask you this. So, we have some people that want to come down and they're thinking about bringing a spouse or they're thinking about bringing like their kids with them or things like that. They're concerned like the Pucon kayak retreat. Like, is there gonna be things for them to do, or can they do some of the easier rivers maybe in something that's not a whitewater kayak? Like, what options are there for people that aren't necessarily whitewater kayakers?
so another good question. So Pucon's also called the adventure capital of Chile. We're surrounded by volcanoes, lakes, and rivers. So there's a hike, there's a hot springs, there's a horseback ride, there's a mountain bike ride, there's everything you could think of. There's fly fishing. So what we created over time was the multi-sport trip, and the multi-sport trip is a trip just for non-kayakers. What we recommend not to do is, hey, can my wife come down and just hang out and go do activities while I go have the best kayaking trip of my life? And so realized that that was a mistake. And so what we did is we committed an entire trip for the plus ones or for the kids. And so that, just like the beginners, it required us committing to two things: the proper transportation and a professional guide. And so for the multi-sport trips, a lot of those, so climbing a via ferrata. That's really a highlight. And that is, if you don't know what a via ferrata is, Pucon has a great one. That is a bolted ladder on a 1,000-foot rock face where you're clipped in to with a harness and cables, and you're
It's
climbing a
awesome.
ladder, still out there exposed on Yosemite. A horseback ride to the Buddhist monastery. Uh, a hike to Lagos Andinos, which is there's a series of lagunas, uh, volcanic and glacial fed lagunas on the border of Argentina. Um, and then at the end of the day, you come back and you stop at a craft brewery, a Chilean craft brewery. So we have a whole itinerary. And so anybody that wants to bring their family or a plus one, we have a proper solution for them. And then
Awesome.
again, San Pedro Day, you got a plus one. We'll either put them in an inflatable kayak or a raft, and they'll get to do
Perfect.
a full day.
Perfect. Awesome. So, and for those of you that are, didn't tune in early, we're going down January 30th through February 7th, but we're also going to offer a add-on week. So if you want to go for 2 weeks, there's going to be a second option for a Fuda trip. So if you're interested in paddling the Fuda, or that's always been a dream of yours, you'll definitely want to look into the Fuda trip. So I've got two more questions. I was trying to keep us under, and I had this dream that we would only talk for 30 minutes. And yes, and now we're at an hour. But I did want to say, the Fuda is one of those rivers, like it's life changing. So if you come down for 2 weeks, you will be absolutely mind blown if you do the Fuda portion. But we can only take 6 people, and I think three of those spots are already spoken for. So like there's limited space. So if you want to do the Fuda and that's been a dream of yours, sign up for it, because we there's just not that much room. So sign up for it if you're interested. If that's the dream of yours, make it happen soon. We got 12 months, but there's just we're gonna run out of room on that trip. So please keep
So
that in
one thing
mind.
there, after you and I just had this long conversation planning out these trips, um, I came up with a way to add 3 spaces to that.
Okay.
It's, it's like we could do intermediates on that trip, but what it would require is a minimum of 3, because then the minimum of 3 allows me again to cover the additional
Yep.
guide, just intermediates, and the Hilux truck.
Yep.
Or if you have a less than a minimum of 3, a $1,500 supplement to cover that extra guide and that transportation. So if you had 1 or 2, it would still be $1,500, whether it's 1 or 2 to cover the vehicle and the additional guide. But if you
I
had
gotcha.
3, there's no, it does not require. So we can go above that if with those conditions.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll keep that in our back pocket. Um, with that, I was going to ask some food questions, but I think we're running out of time on how long I want this to go. All right, I'm going to transfer back to being Eric Bartl. I'm not a complete beginner who doesn't know. Uh, so if you're interested in doing this trip, we are receiving a group discount, and that's going to be based on how many people actually come. So the more people that come, the cheaper it is for everyone. So please, that's another reason for like this to be a bigger group. And so, and if you're interested, shoot me an email. I'll get you the logistics. If you have questions, I mean, we've talked for an hour, but if you have more questions that we haven't answered, please let us know. Oh, Nicole had a question. What if you're in between skill levels? Like you're not a advanced paddler, but you're not an intermediate paddler. Let's say you're like a class 4 paddler. Are you locked into the group that you like start out with? How does that work?
That's great question, Nicole, and that's really probably her coming down here a couple years and knowing our program. And what um that's experience. The guides are going to assess you on day 1, and so let's say you got in on the advanced trip, and on day 2, uh, you're like, I'm in over my head. I'm really nervous. I got anxieties in here. So what the guide? So first, communicating with your guide, and the beauty of it is what we're doing is we're committing. What a big theme of this discussion was is illustrating that we're committing to each group. So, and Nicole, I'm just going to use you as the example. So you're in the advanced group, you're having anxiety, you had to swim, you're like, I'm in over my head. Can I go down to the intermediate group? The answer is absolutely. And what lends itself to that is because we already have the group built in. Normally, you go on these trips, it's like, oh, well, we only have 2 guides and they're on the advanced. We don't have any more guides to take you on the intermediate trip. So this is built in. You can move to whatever group. If you were a beginner, you're like, I'm a little bit bored. Can I go up to the intermediate group? Then we discuss with your guides, we discuss with you, and then we bump you up to the intermediate group to keep you challenged and having a good time versus, like, I'm a little bored out here. And again, it goes back, like, how many times have the best, this happens with club boaters all the time and kayak schools too, where your best kayakers out there and they're rescuing other folks. Like, I'd like to be progressing and learning how to run a waterfall or how to boof, you know, a class 4 rapid. So we've got it covered. We've committed to 3 distinct groups, really 4, because there's a multi-sport option if you bring the +1, and that is the non-kayaker group. And
I
so,
That's gonna happen.
mhm,
I know 2 people that are considering bringing spouses. So
mhm,
there's definitely going to be people that are going to sign up that are
okay.
bringing additional. So awesome. Well, with that, I'm going to wrap some things up. But if you have questions for David that I didn't already cover, please put them in the comment section now. And then if you stayed till the end of this video, I love doing this right at the end. I'm going to do a giveaway. So David was nice enough to give me some marketing material and he sent me some hoodies. And so the first person, actually, you know what? I'm going to make it the first 2 people that sign up, actually book for this trip. You'll get a free hoodie. So if like after this podcast or this live stream, if you go and you sign up for the week that we're all going down, you'll get a free hoodie from me. And so just, yeah, they're pretty awesome hoodies and they're sick. They're sick. Actually, I had to like stake them out. I was like, I don't want to give these away. Anyways, so if you go ahead and sign up, I'm going to give two giveaways to the first two people that sign up for the trips, and I've got all the sizes. So doesn't matter. He sent me several hoodies, so I got
Hey,
plenty. Uh, yeah,
let me
fire
tell you
away.
something really cool about, or really proud of. So here on the front, each hoodie is gender friendly. We got Joy Kayaker right here, and on the back, and we mix it up. And then you got Johnny Kayaker on the back. You got the male figure. Well, everybody in
Uh,
kayaking does the man guy, but so we're really proud. So the females on the back or the front, and the opposite side is the other gender. So we're really proud
awesome.
of that.
Well, with that, David, I just want to say thank you for coming on to the live stream and talking to us about Pucon Kayak Retreat. And I think everyone's really like people that know and have actually been know how big of a deal it is and how awesome of a time it is. But people that are on the fence, they don't quite know. And then you go and you're like, oh, this is awesome. So I hope we can have some more people, enjoy the experience and come down with us because you're gonna have one of the best weeks of your life, and this is one of those trips that you'll remember for the rest of your life. So, thanks for coming on, and I appreciate everyone. And yeah, have a great night, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Ohio Kayak Instruction.
See you, David.
All right, see you later.